We're going to start the general meeting right now. I'd like everyone could please stand for the presentation of colors. Okay, I'd like to apologize, the Thunderhawk singers weren't able to perform, so we're going to go right into the invocation by Mr. Ray Tafoya Sr.
Atasuya koye tsuki la sidila kumonsi. Kuzu dase tayin tsantiyantawa. Njumani nan kede. Haidan kinye haguzu da usla. Mikere da ede da kumonsi. Hadi chikoye tasikliye makedan zida kumonsi. Ashimala taguzu. Ashimikaye kadremi tumakuzi jego makedan zida kumonsi lejo. The Kedri Hospital in Kangudayan. She was Kinyan Kades being with the Yente. And suppose on had an instant a dassy. The Kerda went over the Queen Kade. Hana Gomedan Kinya. Kiddy Grimedan Kinya. So Papadan Kinya. Kuzuna in Kades to ye. The wounds. The Kedri that the Nigo. Because of that, I do dance. Kuzuna atlevo, dasna atlevo. Mitla kego mitla kego hata testoye tagunsi. Ashina mikhaye nakede that das kego da yente kuzu hen kago. Mitla kuzu du jina da yitnago. Hen kongo dan se testoye tagunsi. Ta hago de shije, ta hago shije. Kuzu nakede da gut ede. Dasen hayin tande. Dasen hayan kidestuye taguns makedan tishmana tagus. Didin hanadan taiguday testuye when I was kind kuzun gadadin ede. Dase bayan kide. Dase banin and kide. We can dase between academic costuye taguns. Ashidadi june queer kesta dan kida the Keja da young. I go my change in the coons. Kadra dive kadra. Today Canada lede. Today the Kerada Yitni I. Kuzun had the ghost others to ye. San Jim that I do. Kuzun I cover. A heading down at some heading jika. Amen.
Okay. I know there's going to be a lot of tall people coming in, so. Okay, like this? Okay, okay. Well, welcome everybody. And as you know, we're going to be having a delicious Thanksgiving luncheon that's going to be served by Lucero Catering. So that's immediately following the meeting. But first, I would like the royalty to come up and introduce themselves.
Good morning. My name is Ryan Lovato. I'm the 2016-2015 Little Beaver Rodeo Queen, and I would like to thank you guys for coming to this and hope you guys have a good lunch, and thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm the 2016-2017 Little Beaver. And my name is Ivan Harrison. I am 10 years old. I attend at the Dulce Elementary. My mom and dad are Adrian Harrison and Nicole Lucero. Thank you for coming to this Thanksgiving dinner in Hinton.
Danjo, Kaylee Soanaski Shiji. I'm the 2016-2017 Little Miss Hickory Apache. I'm Hickory Apache. I'm 11 years old, and I am in the 5th grade at the Dulce Elementary School, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Ihetin.
Danjo, Cleisha Anderson, Shiji, Timothy Anderson, Shika, Berta Anderson, Shima, Abaji Shi, Dene Anshi, Yat Bene, Cleisha Anderson, Yenishye, Behan Nishle, Natots, O Tachini, Bashashi, Behat Dashache, Dashini, Dashanella. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Cleisha Anderson. I am currently 2016-2017 Junior Miss Hickory Apache. I am 17 years old. Today is my birthday. Thank you. And my parents are Timothy and Berta Anderson. My paternal grandparents are Richard and Sandy Anderson of Borrego Pass, New Mexico. My maternal grandparents are the late Margaret and Francisco Vigil, Dulce, New Mexico. I am very honored to represent the Hickory Apache Nation, not only myself, but all of you beautiful people. And my message to all of you is to live a drug and alcohol-free life. And it's important to learn our language, our culture, and our traditions. And I would like to encourage all of you to do that as well. And thank you. Eat lots today and have a good day. And yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, I have an announcement here. The general election for the Hickory Apache Legislative Council position, the absentee voting is until, November 16th through November 23rd at noon. I guess that's the deadline, November 23rd at 12 noon. Any resident qualified elector who, due to temporary absence from the reservation, is not able to vote at the polls, such resident absentee voting shall be permitted at the office of the election board during normal business hours for 5 working days prior to election day. And again, the general election, another reminder, November 28th at the Dulce Community Center here at the gym, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So just keep that in mind. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to ask you to help me welcome President Wainwright Velarde.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for selecting me as your leader for the next 4 years. And I've asked my staff and the people that work with me that we need to keep the momentum going so that we can give you an update of what we've done in the last 60 days. And I just want to say that it's been very hectic and very difficult when we started off. And I'll tell you the truth from the beginning. I walked into the office of the president, and there was just nothing but a table sitting there. Nothing on the walls, nothing in the drawers, no computers, no records, no nothing. So that's where we started from, scratch. And the same way with Vice President Velarde, Edward, his room was empty also. And the same way with Meraldine, our secretary, There was nothing in the room too. So we started with nothing. And we had to go to BIA and get some records to get everything squared away. And we had to go to some of our people in-house to gain some of the other stuff that we need to put together so that we can have a meeting for the council and bring everything back together. But that's where we started. So I just wanted to mention that up front so that you guys know where we started from. And then the next thing that we did is we went to Washington, D.C. And up there, they were wondering why Jicarilla Apache Nation hasn't been up there for a period of time. And we were greeted very well by a lot of people that haven't seen us for over 4 years. So they would welcome us with open arms, and we met with them personally on a personal basis, the people that were at the top in every department. And it was a good feeling to be there the problem we have right now is to be there to get some money off of them, to work the money that we deserve too. We haven't gotten any money from DC, Washington, or anywhere else. The only place we've been getting money was from the state. So this is the first time we're trying to secure money from the federal government again. But I'm glad to hear they were willing to work with us in every which way to put up things. And so with that in mind, we started working in that particular area with trying to get some things done. The next trip I did was going to Phoenix, Arizona to meet with the National Congress of American Indians. And while we're there, we were invited to meet with Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine was vice president of Hillary Clinton. And we gave him what we thought, in case he won, give him what we thought that was necessary for our people here. So it was a good meeting, and a lot of people were there, and Ed, myself, and some of the staff were there, and the council was there too. And we had a great meeting with them, but sorry to say we didn't win on that side too. So, but in the meeting with NCAI, the major focal point on that particular meeting was on the stuff that were sold from Indian country to other countries like France and different countries over there, and they were trying to get their stuff back. And mainly, I think 2 tribes, Navajo and Acoma. Acoma had a shield that was sold, and they were trying to retrieve that, and that's where the law came into being, what they call the stop law. And that was done by our senator from New Mexico, Hendrick. And after we came back, we had department meetings. And today, I think we have 96 departments within the nation. And to meet with all of them and find out what's going on within the whole nation is a pretty big chore. And we've covered 3 days so far in trying to get information from everybody. We don't know what you guys all have out there. So as far as equipment, staff, and what your goals and objectives are for each department. And the reason behind that was that since we have a budget that's going to be kind of smaller than what we need to have, our gas and oil is down 40%. So we need to address that. We're going to be in a deficit to begin with. And a lot of people like to spread panic out there and say that we're broke. We're not broke. That's farthest from the facts, sir. We have plenty of money, but we're just being, putting things on a safeguard so that we can address our finances to what we have. And the reason behind that was that we have a long ways to go. We got a lot of young people in here that need to come up here and do their thing too. So with that in mind, we're looking at every department, and what I'm trying to do is to make sure that you have projects under your program. So what are you spending the people's money for? In the past, we just got a bunch of money and You went to work and you don't remember what you did. You hauled wood, maybe you buried somebody, maybe you did something else, but you don't remember. There's no record of it. In many of the departments, we don't have records too. And like I said, in my office, it was blank when I walked in. So what I'm trying to do with the administration is that we have to have some kind of records. And if we don't, who's going to remember us? And with that in mind, and some of the things that we also covered, which when I came on board, I was asked to cover the culture meetings, the cultural aspect of our people. And there's some very interesting subjects that were brought up when I was in Phoenix also in that meeting. And one of the things that I'm going to put out to you guys here is that, in the government that we have, is there an official language? No. See, so that's what I'm saying. We might have to put Hickory Apache language in there and say that's our language spoken here on this piece of territory or piece of ground that we have. So that's one of the ways that the culture program told me, well, how are you going to introduce our culture and how can you bring it back into being? Well, probably we can't get it back into being, but if we make it our language for the nation, then we have to learn how to speak it. Because right at this point, there is no incentive to learn the language itself. And a lot of people get upset about that too, is that we're going to lose it, is that we're not going to lose the language. All the Athabascan nations that are within the United States and all the way up to Alaska, clear to this, Russia, on the Siberian Strait and on that side, they all speak our language. So we're not going to lose anything, to me, that's the way I see it. Even the Modocs on the California coast over there, they speak Athabascan. And it's very, very little difference, just like us and the Navajos, us and Muscalero, us and White Mountain, us and San Carlos. It's just a very small difference, but the language is there. And the only part that we need to worry about is our culture and our traditions. Those are things that we need to maintain. But that's as far as the culture meetings are concerned. The other thing that I wanted to bring to view to the administration as well as to the nation was to bring back broadband. And broadband is all those things that we all carry today. This thing here, the telephone, the internet, Wi-Fi, all of that. Windstream has been carrying that for us, but in the 5 years, they did not have a contract with us. So they were reneging on their duties with us to the United States because the United States government was giving them approximately $216,000 a year to do consultation with us, as well as helping us with our communications. And the best they did was put a copper wire on our reservation. And when you buy the system, I think it's something like $86 for 4 megabytes, and you barely get 2. So you're losing money to begin with. And we're going to fix that. And we had a big meeting with 9 tribes that have this type of system in the United States. And if we get everything done right, and the FCC is on our side too, we met with them the other day. So we also met with the USDA, and I'm proud to say all my ITs I met with too. They're all young people, and I'd like to recognize them at this point. And it's very important because the young people are the ones that are going to have to carry the nation here. And I want these people to stand up as I mentioned their name. Number one is these are our Telecommunications Committee that was appointed by the council yesterday. Andrea Phillips, are you in the audience? Tammy Salazar, Brian Patago, Jonathan Dykehouse, Dustin Shane Tifoya, Lee Bitson, Tashina Young, Donna Montoya, Chellen Tifoya. I know Bert's here, Bert Carmel. Josh Benzel, I think he's from the school, and John Paseda. These are the committees that were appointed by the council so that we can put this broadband together. And there's funding available, and there's FCC was here with us too to help us out and how we're going to do this together. So hopefully when we put it all together, and we're hoping that we can take over Windstream also, so that we'll have our own telecommunications here in the north then. It'll be like having our own electricity. We have our own telecommunications here too. And I think that will be a great help for all of us in here too, because all the young people, they're very familiar with the technology that everybody carries among them. So that would be a great thing to us to do. And then the other things that we did also, we're having problems with our housing issues too. So we're trying to put all of it under one roof and get it going so that if you need a house repaired or something, you can go to the right place. And if you need a house built, you need to go to the proper place there too. So we're trying to get that reorganized under my administration. And the problem we're running into right now is that we're running into land. The land are not surveyed too. So when I was up on the hill, I asked Sally Jewell if they could give us a survey crew to help us out here on the reservation. And that was in line also. We have a dispute with BLM on the west side here, just below, I think on the west side of the reservation. And they took over some of our land and put an oil well and put a line over there too. So I asked Sally Jewell to help us with that, because BIA said, well, BLM can do that for you. And BLM is the one that we're in dispute with. So how can they do something for us when we're arguing with them across the table? So I've asked Senator Heinrich, our senator up in DC, and he got some of his staff together, and a person, McDermott, out of Farmington, is helping us put a proposal together to see if we can get some private companies to help us survey the land again. So we're working on that part too. And I'm going to kind of rush through some of this because I want the council also to speak. We did a reservation map too, and we got some of the young people, the EMS, and some of them to respond to the fire department, to respond to fire and emergencies. We kind of identified the houses, the streets, and they have a map now. So if you guys call in for fire, they know where to go, and they cut short the time to get there. So we made a map, helped them make a map for them, and they kind of got it real organized. And here again, I didn't do anything. They did all of it themselves. So that's very unique in what our people are doing here for themselves. The other things that you want to hear too is that the court, we completely took it apart. We have 2 judges working over there now on a temporary basis. And we just recently got a court administrator to run the whole court system. They did a court assessment for us, and everything was not a court system. It's like a kangaroo court, they said. So when the council looked at the findings and the assessment of the people that did it for us from the New Mexico Law Center, Indian Law Center, they were the crew that came in here and made a whole total assessment and gave the recommendation to the council. So right now, where we're at with that one is that we're waiting for funding to get everything going again. But in the end term, we got the judges there, and we're still running the court system as is. So we might be a little slow doing it, but we appreciate you guys thought, to be patient with us on that area. And the other thing that we also went is when we get elected, we take people up to Chicago to where our money managers are. And the council here sitting behind me, and they went with me, and we looked at how the money was managed for us. And the way it's managed for us, it's really unique, and the council has total control of how everything is managed for your part. The last part that we're trying to fix right now is the money for the young people, the one that comes out of Wells Fargo. And the reason behind that is that when the young people get in on the money, that it's at different ages. So when we do it at different ages, it makes money at a different rate too. So it's a little tedious there. So the money managers are trying to find somebody for us to do that management. And we also got out of Wells Fargo because they took a lot of money from us too. But we put a stop to that too. So at this point, I think we're doing a lot better than what we have in the past. And we're more on top of everything because we need to be, and it's all of us in here, it's our money. And we need to be, real up close to it. And for my part, I say this in front of you because you need to know. This is your money too. And that's what I tell my staff too. You're working for each one of us in here. I said, so when you're on the job, don't goof around. You're using these people's money. You're trying to help them with the services, I said. And that's really important for all of us to understand. And I did a tribal summit over in Las Vegas here recently too. I was invited up there by 4 universities to talk about the water and how we are going to manage our water system. And one of the things that I don't know if all of you know this, but we're one of the only tribes that can sell water down the canyon or down below where we live. And to the council here sitting behind me, as well as the water committee, as well as the director, we think that's where the next money is going to come for the tribe in water marketing. And that's why we're taking a good look at it. And some of the things that were recommended to me, we just recently did an agreement with selling some water. So it's for 5 years, and I think at a certain rate. And I kind of just mentioned that to the people that were in the audience. And these people are going to school, professors that are teaching the subject that know water very well. So they gave me some opinions on it. So I took that to the council, and we're discussing that right now again too. But I think all in all, the way the contract's written for us, we have control over the whole thing too. So that's very important for you guys to know too, is that, we're in the point of our existence that we need to understand a lot of things that most people didn't understand years ago. And he said, well, so-and-so can take care of it. Don't worry about it. Those guys are taking care of it. Not so no more. We all have to know. We all have to understand what's going on. And we also had a meeting with Dr. Casillas. This is one of the important things that I thought that was really important for you to mention to you people too, is that Dr. Casillas is trying to create a rehab detox center for us. And I got some people involved with that. I have the WOAG working on it, as well as the behavioral health, the police department, corrections department, culture center, and the clinic. A lot of our people get incarcerated and they're just sitting in jail doing nothing. sometimes for 30 days, sometimes for 60, sometimes for 90. And they just sit in there, eat, sleep, and that's it. So rather than doing that, maybe we should rehabilitate them and make them better citizens, we said. So Dr. Garcias is kind of putting that into gear for us, and hopefully we get it set up and maybe have a detox center again. But we need to do that. And then the other thing that I think Ed will talk about it more is that he also met with a new broker for Jan Risk Management and Jan HR Director, who are sitting over there, and they looked at some of the money managers that can do a better job in what we're doing right there currently. So I'll let him talk about that. And then the other one that I got going too with Jesse Lafleur, Donna Montoya, Dr. Ron Johnson, and Wilburn Tifoya, a certification program through New Mexico State University. And here we want to start a trade school in Dulce along with the Dulce School to produce better livestock, funds from Washington, D.C. to put the grants together. So we're working on that project also, so that if we can get it together, it'll be great. The other thing we're looking at also, the police department is looking for improvements, and we asked our Washington office to get some money and some grant monies for him. So if we can do that for the police department, we'll have some better officers too. The other side is that since I came on, we've been building the police department, because we didn't have enough people there to cover the vast reservations. So at this point, we also are having problems with, the education of people to get people into this law enforcement area. We sent people down to reserve to get training, and they last a week, and then they come home. Then what do? We're still in the same dilemma that we started with. And this is where a lot of the argument comes up with among all of you in here, some of you, and that's where we say, well, employ our people. We want to employ our people, but when it comes to qualifications, it's a little bit difficult. And we've had arguments with some of our people also in regards to what the qualifications are. We reset the qualifications, Ed and I, because the reasoning behind it is because all of the stuff that we have, especially in dealing with money, we need people to know how to add and subtract, how to deal with people, how to deal with corporations, how to deal with big outfits that run a lot of money. And we need to be on top of it, not just one day, every day, 365 days a year. So you have to be highly qualified to manage something like this. And I find the same thing true with a lot of our departments. We have to upgrade everybody so that you guys can, we can do better than what we're doing. We got by with what we did in the old days. When I was, in the workforce and everything else, we did all right. But now that's not good enough. We've got young people coming up, and we need to upgrade them also. And I'll leave these other parts that Ed has mentioned here to him, but one of the things that I also want to mention is that, and I just want to put in your ears at this point. Yesterday, I got an okay from the council to meet with the state, and I met with this lady. Her name is Zuni, and she's in charge of the Indian Affairs Department. So she's going to kind of get the ball rolling for me. I think my friend, our former president, Mr. Levi Posada, came to me the other day, and he was having problems with the school system. And that thing continued to escalate, and, we can't get our students trained properly. I remember when I was sitting on the council, through 4 years, we had one graduate. out of the high school. And a lot of people were complaining at that time too, that they were giving out blank graduation, you know. And I said, I didn't agree with it, but it happened. And at the same time too, we didn't have a graduate. The one that graduated was not a tribal member too. So, you know, that's those people that graduated at that time within a 5-year period are sitting among you guys. They're citizens and they're ready to go to work. But if we don't get them trained right, it's very difficult for our people here too. When Ed was a director for maintenance, he had 15 people come in. And he probably tell the story better than I can, but 15 students standing there, gave him a shovel, dig a hole for me. One sat down on his knees and tried to dig a hole with a shovel. Another one tried to do otherwise, and the rest of them just gave up and said, we don't know how. And some of these people, we told them do you have an application? And says, how do you fill that out? So that's kind of where we're at with some of the students that we're dealing with. So I'm glad to report that the council gave me the okay to see we can contract the whole school system up here with the tribe. And maybe that way we can run it the way we want to. What I would like to do, if we're able to do that, is to put our cultural and stuff in there too, our language, our ways, and teach the people, our young people, the language that we're supposed to be. That way, when the council gets up here and say, well, the official language of the Jicarilla Apache Nation is Jicarilla, then we can probably fall in line with the school system and them teaching our kids too. So, but that's a start. I just want to put that in your ear now. So I'm hoping that I can blaze a trail up there to see if I can get it done. And it's not impossible. I want to tell you that. The Laguna tribe, they have a contract. So I think if they have one, I don't see why Jicarilla would not, can't get one too. And in our preliminary talks, we found out that since we're an independent school, it makes it more possible. And since that we're isolated, it makes it a lot more possible. So I just want to mention that to you. So I'll let the rest of the group speak to you. And then last thing I want to mention is that I know some of you work pretty hard and do things pretty hard for us. And I really appreciate that too. So for the second half of the day, I give all of you time off.
Thank you, Mr. President. And later on, we're going to be having some turkey drawings. So if you haven't gotten your turkey, you may win. And just a update on the voters that voted here. Over 736 voters came out, which I'm, very happy with, even despite it's about 56% voted, which is still not as great as 2008, where over 900 voted. So 588 stopped by the polls, 9 absentee, and 139 early voters. So I think that's a great number. So pat yourself on the back, and hopefully next time in 2 years, more will come out to vote. So I'd like everyone to welcome to the podium the Vice President, Mr. Edward Velarde.
And Joel, good morning. Before I start, I want to introduce our staff. My assistant, Owida Natsuna, would you stand up? She's done a good job so far. Also, Bridget, the president's assistant, stand up. And also the secretary, if they're out there, I don't know where. and the treasurer. This past 60 days, we've been, I guess you might say we're a team there, meaning that we all work together. We are on the same page, so anything that comes before us, we deal with it accordingly. So just to let you know that nobody's left out, in the dark and everything like that. So everything, I think they're learning, and I really commend them for doing their jobs. For my part, I think the president already said what he had to, but I'll elaborate some of the items he might have missed or explained. So as far as the directors or employees out there, I was given the okay by the president to continue a directors meeting the 96 departments, I guess, we'll be dealing with. Also, the reason because we don't have executive directors, so I'm going to take on that responsibility to handle that portion. And also just want to let the directors know that because we don't have EDs, everything is going to fall on you, meaning that you're there, you're paid for it, it's your responsibility. And I keep telling directors that everything shouldn't come up to our level unless it's, through a process or something. So, but following procedures too. So also in following procedures, I think that's what our administration is going to go back to or went back to. We follow what's written. We follow, no more just on the spur of the moment decisions, So just to let you know that we'll be following policy. And I know some people are probably upset out there, but it's unfair to the other people that are doing the right thing. So let me put it that way. As far as risk management, I did meet with them last week, and I think one of the brokers kind of has expertise or knowledge or contact to help us with our policies. I think most department was mentioned that we don't have policies, so we're going to use this team to help directors create policies. I know some of them are out there, but we need to update them. So I'll be using that group to do that. Also on the mini school, I think this is a result of what at my former job, I was director for maintenance, and I know we deal in the trade areas. And some of you guys out there been questioning us lately. I know my staff down there used to, tell me, do you guys know what you're doing? Are you certified? With that, that's what I took on the task to, have the employees certified in those areas. So, and also in this same process, I think we're trying to do a mini school to create that school so we can certify our people, and also work with the high school, because not all people are out there for colleges, Some are hands-on people, so we'd like to capitalize on that. Also on the same line, because we're doing that because the school system doesn't have the BOAC program no more. And also I think with New Mexico State University Extension Service, they used to have ag agents and home ec, those things are missing. I think that's kind of a life skills that our young people need to know. And because of what happened this past summer, I think I have hope in young people, because I used to have 5 or 6 people or youth workers every year, and this year we had 25 people. So that's indication to me that we can do it. So I believe in the young people. Also, I know there's talk about, or maybe even confusion about daycare and the Head Start program. But I hear people out there that we need a daycare center because, from their work, that they need those services. And I spoke with Francine Cachucha too last week, and I think we're going to explore the possibility of establishing one again. And also, I think we're looking at buildings, existing buildings, like the school out there in Mundo. But I hear that it's already taken, so but we'll look elsewhere. We keep looking, and I think she can do it internally at her building too. So might have to add on here and there, but I think we'd like to make it happen for you, employees that have kids that, during the day there. Also, as you might be aware, we're going to have budget meetings starting next week, the 21st to the 23rd. We'll be meeting with departments, and I think there's a schedule out there that's already set that. So this thing, regarding Wells Fargo, I think they handle the trust funds for our youth. And the president mentioned changing some stuff here and there, age requirements or whatever. But I think this topic came up because, as you know, we have problems with alcohol, and we lose a lot of people each year. So we kind of look at that differently. So we can maybe, I think right now it's set at 18 years old. That's when people can get their trust fund. But we're thinking about, putting it up maybe 21, where people in their life, I guess they're more open to life, you might say. So we're talking about that, and as we go along, we'll keep you informed. And then as far as directors that I mentioned, I think we plan to have our meeting in December because our schedules are all booked. So whenever I come up with a date, I'll let the directors know through memo, and then we can have meetings again. And that's all I have. Thank you for listening. Mhm.
Thank you. We got some legislative council members that are going to be saying a few things, giving a little report also. I don't know who wants to rush the stage first. Just kidding. Mr. Leon Rival, I'm going to ask you to do this first.
Thank you, everybody. Couple of things. It's interesting doing the job for a while. The benchmarks that can be measured are pretty incredible. I think to the president's points, his empowering, his team building, I think is crucial. There's a lot of individuals that he just indicated, one with this telecommunications committee. It's enormous. You guys are the experts out there. And in that empowerment, having those experts come get a solid plan helps these decisions become a whole lot easier. The other big thing is, again, congratulations. You've always heard that voting's important, and we've always heard that, well, it doesn't really matter. It really does matter. And 70%, 700 over 51% are huge numbers that make us a much larger group that we can reflect on when we actually go to the state and actually go to DC. So congratulations for all of you for coming out and voting. There has been about 60-odd days, as the president indicated, and I think some of the new council members are acclimating a whole lot quicker than I thought they would, and that's not a disrespectful comment. It takes a while to get used to the new position. It takes a while to absorb certain policies, certain protocols, but I think they've done a fantastic job. I think there's always going to be rumors and speculation, but I'll tell you, for those individuals, and there's a lot of you who will either call me or text me and say, hey, Leon, what's going on? Thank you for that, because that really means a lot, and if we can get you an answer quickly, and honestly and truthfully, it helps, I think, alleviate a lot of that momentum that rumors can bring. That being said, I know there's a highlight here that as we grow, and I think we have to dust it off. And some might say, well, you know, it's not too comprehensive, it's not too in-depth, but I think it is. And I say it gives us the door that is opened finally for some sort of measurable on your elected leadership. So right now, we currently have a legislative council policy and code of conduct that has been approved. It is in place, and it is a springboard that grows into the next level. So that's huge. It's been something that has been worked on for a very long time, and I think the body prior, the predecessors of our new council said we need something, and so those are the kind of growths that I think are going to make us a huge positive, not only in your eyes, but the eyes of how we deal and how we reflect as we go out there and represent not only ourselves, but our beautiful community here. So with that, it is always a pleasure. I know it's been a long time since we've come up here, but I know that, and I'm not speaking for the president because he has already set his agenda that he does want to have these meetings more often, and they might be quicker. They might be updated. There might even not even be food at some of these, but it is about information. And that food and that information can be absorbed and can be carried on. So with that, I wish you and all your families a beautiful and safe Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, travel safe, return safe, and keep your eyes and ears open because I know some big things are going to happen in 2017. And on one final note to the president's point, we are not going broke. But we all have to be financially aware. We all have to do our part regardless of where we're sitting because we are all as one. And that is just part of being responsible. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to be an adult. It's tough, but necessary. So thank you. You all look beautiful, got smiling faces, which is very awesome to see. And with that, I'll sit down and get back to solitaire on my phone. Thank you, guys.
Okay, next up is Legislative Council Member or Council Lady, Cheryl Behill.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see everyone here today. I hope that we all enjoy the meal that will be provided, and we thank the Lord for everything that He has given to us. I want to start with just letting you know that it's been a good challenge these past 60 days. There's a lot of opportunity for the Jicarilla Apache Nation to move forward in all areas of tribal government. It's a big responsibility. When we come into the office, we have to be prepared. We have to know what we're doing because we can't rely on anyone. We have to rely on ourselves. There has been many challenges and many good things that are on the drawing board to begin our future because this is going to affect our children and generations to come. What we do now makes a difference, and we have to make that difference because if we don't, we suffer. And we have to look to the changes in tribal government at the national level. How is it going to impact us? What are we going to do? Are we prepared? We have to prepare for that because we don't know what it brings. We don't know these new challenges that will be coming to us. But all in all, I think that as your legislative council, we have all agreed that we want to work together. And we want to be a part of a good team because it's going to be all in your best interests, not individual interests. It's not up to me. It's not up to the rest of the group. We all have to work together. And we have. There's many, many things that have come before us that affect all of you daily. And I want to thank all of you that have visited my office and come with your concern, as well as issues that affect you in your job too. We can't address all of it, but we can try and work with the right people so that there will be resolution to everything that you come and bring to us. and it takes a team. And to all of you as Jicarilla Apache people, and to those of you that do work with the nation as employees of the nation, I applaud you because we have many experts out there. All of you have really provided a positive working relationship, the best that we know, and it has to continue to improve because there's many challenges before us. And with that, I just want to say thank you all of you for everything that you have done for us as a people. And I'm grateful to be here, to be looking out for your interest and looking for a brighter tomorrow. Thank you. And to the elderly, thank you. Thank you, all of you. Appreciate it.
And next, coming up to the stage is Legislative Councilman William Julian, and I'd like for him to refrain from bragging about the Cowboys.
Tanjong Shike, Shigo Mangani Nasu Lane about you days. Nadin Tahanan Chiha Sitting Chimi Taya. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we're 8-1. I just want to just say a few things too. It's been a very positive experience the last 60 days. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot more going on that we have planned, and just working together is very important. And a lot of rumors that have been going on before we got on, and it continues to be here. There's no $120,000 raises. We have no ringleaders. All we have is a president and vice president that's our leaders now. So as far as all that goes, I mean, let's put that to an end right now. But there's things that the doors were open for us when we went to Washington. There's a lot of funding and grants available for a lot of projects that we can get going on, and which will benefit the tribe as a whole. And one of the things I've been looking into too is a lot of our oil and gas issues. We get a big portion of our income off the natural gas, and that's something that needs to be addressed. So I've been working with the Oil and Gas Administration and looking into some of the issues that we're having there. And hopefully we can move forward in a positive way. But we have a good group working together now, and I'm real proud to be a part of it. And we're looking forward to moving and getting things done. So, and with all of you, you guys are all very important. If you guys have ideas and things that you want to share, stop by and share them, because I'm more than happy to listen to every one of you in here. You guys are all important to all of us in here because you guys make the tribe move. So that's what I want to let everybody know. So thank you, and we'll let Shane, happy birthday to Junior Miss. I think Shane's going to sing your birthday song, so thank you.
Thank you, and I'd like to welcome Legislative Council Member Shane Valdez to the stage. And again, a reminder, we're going to have a drawing, so.
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to have this job. You know, the importance that's been entrusted in us up here, and I would say us because we all have to cooperate, we all have to work together, is paramount in terms of, you know, the direction that we want to take as a nation. Teamwork, communication are keys. And with this group, I think we've had our bumps in the road in terms of disagreements, loud debate, loud discussions. But I think that's all positive because we're able to express our opinions and our views of each situation that we encounter as a government. I also want to thank the people that have talked to me, gave me advice, former council, their views, and explained some of the situations from the past, because that's one of the main things I've been working on, has been researching, reading, trying to gather information on where we were and where we're headed. You know, again, this is a really diverse group. We all have stuff that we can contribute to different situations, to different, I guess, different views or points of view that are all positive. You know, one of the things I think at first, one of the things I really kind of wasn't sure of, and I kind of had felt frustration, was the pace that we go at. You know, we get people coming in and talking, you know, I need this, I need this. But I think also with the leadership that we have, the president and vice president, they've also given us some direction that kind of define the roles that we each are part of in terms of dealing with tribal departments, dealing with legislation. And I think sitting council, new council, we've had to learn to work together, but we cooperate, we work on a goal, and I think we're working on also our own structure, policy that we want to put in place so that we have a plan, so that in 2 years, if someone else is taking one of the council that's coming up on their term limit, or their positions up for a re-election, that they can step into their shoes and we can keep moving forward. It's just like the president said, we started this job with nothing in our offices. No ordinances, no paperwork. We weren't really sure of what was already in progress until we started communicating and interacting with each other. And from that, I think that we're moving in the right direction. We're focused on what we have to do, and we understand the job. And I always say job because it's not entitlement. It's not that we're somebody that should be, I guess, looked up to in terms of our stature. No, we're with you. We're part of you. And again, I like to thank the people that do come and discuss, do come and share their views, because with this broadband as an example, we have the resources right here in our community to make change, to be positive. We have to allow you, our greatest resource, to help us, to contribute, so that you feel like you're a part of this government. You feel that your participation counts. And I want to thank everybody also that voted. That's a big deal. You're giving us a voice. You're giving us 500 plus voters. So next year when legislation comes up, or even this year in February, they're gonna look and say, look at Jicarilla. How many people did they vote? How many people voted? How many people are interested? That's positive. That's positive change. Participation is it. I think also that with the people up here sitting before you, they're a major resource. I've learned so much about government. I've learned so much about policy. I learned so much just in the way they handle the process. Like, for instance, Leon, he's really been there to help, in my mind, coach me along in terms of meetings, procedure, policy, how we present resolutions. You know, and to me, that's a big help because he's concerned about our future. Same thing with the president. He has defined direction, what he wants to do to change things, and that's a positive also. So again, just with that, thank you for the opportunity again. Thank you to those who have spoke with me and shared information. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you, Councilman. We're going to have a drawing shortly, but first, I'd like to mention I know you're probably tired of me and my memos for capital outlay. And I'm going to give you another reminder here. Deadline, December 16th at 5 p.m. If I'm not in my office, I have staff. So again, one more reminder, and I'm going to keep reminding you till you're tired of me reminding you. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Aaron Manuel and the Dulce Community Center staff, the Ernie Vela and the Dulce High School JOTC, appreciate that. Mr. Harrison Velarde for the sound, and he's going to be playing music too for the Thanksgiving meal. Mr. Tafoya, Lucero Catering will be, excuse me, providing our Thanksgiving meal. The 10 Bears program for helping us set up everything. The Hickory Apache Police Department, EMS, Fire Department, and Game and Fish for their security. And the Hickory administration staff, and in particular Roxy and Tulane for their help in setting up. My public relations staff, and that is Claudette Toribio, Shona Holyfield, and Lavana Montoya. And again, special thank you to all of you here today. And of course, the Dulce community members. So I'm still just kind of hanging out, waiting for my staff to bring me a drawing. I guess trying to kill a time. I don't know any jokes right now. I can't even think of it right now. So, Leon? No, no, no. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. 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 Here, you can hold it. Okay. First number 880208. That's 880208. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody's willing to. Oh, come on down. Or you can go see Shona over there, way over there. Or well, actually, I need your ticket first. Okay. Ask her, just get hers. Oh, she's right there. Next one, 880137. 880137. Anybody? All right. Again, this is for turkey. Okay, next one, 880043. 880043. You gotta come on down. Missing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, one more, actually two more, and then we're gonna do some more a little later. 880142. 880142. Anybody? Nobody? I'll just put that one aside. Okay, 880160. 160. All right. Come on down. Okay, 880097. 097. Anybody? All right. Oh, just the FYI, this is being broadcast on YouTube. That's no good. Nobody. Okay. We'll be doing some more shortly, so just hold on to your tickets, and maybe when you're standing in line. Right now, we're gonna. Is there any questions? Does anybody want to ask any questions? Okay. Somebody wants to ask a question. I don't know, Harrison. Do you have another mic or? For the audience. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to do this. You can come up right here.
Thank you. I heard all the speeches from everybody, all the leaders, but nobody never mentioned our trouble law book. And when you come to office here, you're supposed to abide by it, but then we've been straying quite a bit from it. And Wayne said, BIA is not helping us anymore. What happened to the money that came from BIA about 8 or 4 years ago, $9 million or something like that, came back to the tribe? What happened to the money?
Do you remember what happened? That's a good question. Let me start off by saying that we've been finding money here and there that was never reported neither. Some of it was with Wells Fargo, and then some of it was even just about 2 weeks ago, we had a contract that we didn't, that was given to us too, and it involved Rayma Navajo, and we have $1.6 million if we put the papers in, and we will get that money also. And that just came across my desk. A lot of this stuff that's happening, I was not made aware of, and like I told you, I walked into an empty office and didn't have anything in front of me. So that's where what we're trying to do now is that we trying to codify everything that we do so that there's records available for everybody, for the coming councilmen, coming leadership, and everybody that you can look back into. And what I told my staff also is to line up everything that we have contracts for too. And when they come up, we can put them up ahead for the council to read them about a month ahead of time. So in order to act and renew the contracts, we know what we're doing. But a lot of this stuff that I'm reporting to you, I'm trying to report it straight to you so that you can understand it. A lot of it, we don't have hands-on to it, and we don't know where it's coming from too. So that's why, even we had one too, a youngster that Wells Fargo lost a check, and it was for quite a bit of money, kind of like a trust fund thing. And the crazy thing about the whole thing is it's taken them approximately 11 years to find. And Wells Fargo, what they did was they just wrote another check. And then we asked him, well, where's the interest? Where's, the rest of the money that accumulated in the bank? And that's where it was sitting. So, it's kind of strange to us. And then so what we did is that we went after them to see if we could get the interest money on that too. So, but things like this are coming through. So what we're trying to do is research everything that we have in front of us and try to put them together so that we can address them properly at the right time too, rather than just day to day and doing things that way too. Because a lot of the things, the language, the time, the amount, everything in a contract changes. And for that reason, I advised the council the other day that we need to keep the contract short, maybe from at the most 2 to 3 years. Because like even this one that we were talking about, the water, it's the same way too. This money that Adolphus is talking about as far as the 9,000 or whatever it was, we can look at it and look and see we can find it also. And I'm sure there's others out there too. And it's not a strange thing for us to do that. So it's been unusual, and I questioned a lot of our past administrations on why they didn't keep on top of it. But through our administration, we're trying to put everything on record. And when I tell my departments, I told them the same thing too. Can we look past your work record? What have you guys done? How much wood hauling have you done? How many cords have you brought in for the tribe? Nobody knows. Everything is like that. The only record keeping that we can honestly call record keeping is the chieftain. Chieftain's the only thing that records everything, and that's where we get all of our information. But as far as other information, we don't have it. Yesterday, I was given another one also on the mismanagement of our money for the tribe. And this I got just yesterday. On the mismanagement of our money, all the money that was put together for our forestry, everything that went into it, that they mismanaged, then the government didn't pay us. That's in record with one of our law firms. The first one was Nordhaus, and the second one is Holland and Knight. So this morning, I asked my secretary to write Holland and Knight a letter to see if we can get all the records that they put together in fighting the court fights that we had and bring it back to this reservation so that we can have it as record for our people. But this has never been done in the past, like I said. And what he's mentioning is the truth too. We need to find all those things out too, to see where some of our, we didn't keep track of it, so we have to get on top of it. And I'm glad you asked that question, though, Adolphus, and I'll see if I can get you the answer for you, though. And like I said, I have to research a lot of stuff just to get the proper answers in front of you guys. So, and basically what I want you guys to know is to know it. Because who knows when you're going to be sitting right here. And you have to give the answers to the people too. So for that reason, if everybody knows, it's good. That way we can keep each other's under control. Otherwise we don't. We just let some guy come in and do whatever he wants, and it gets out of hand. So is there any more questions that you got? I'll get that for you though. So any others that you want to ask? This is kind of unusual, but we have a little time here. So my administration is transparency, so I'm willing to answer anything. I'm responsible to you people, so I'm not, afraid to. If I can get it for you, I'll find out why and how. Any others? Are you guys hungry? One last thing I want to mention also is that in the wall in my office, my email is on the wall. My phone number is on the wall. So if you can't come see me in my office, give me a call. Give me an email. I can answer you. I try to answer everybody that emailed me, and I respond. And because, we're in a new age of leadership, a new age in doing things. So we got technology on our side. And that's the reason why I'm bringing broadband in, so that we can talk to each other as we sit here. You guys can text me while I'm sitting up here. I can answer you from there right to where you're sitting. And that's the way it works nowadays. So for that reason, I'm saying what I'm saying. It's a little hard on me. I start off in the morning about 7 o'clock answering emails and stuff. And it goes right on up to about 9 o'clock before I get to work. And sometimes I get stopped on the way to work too. So I show up a little bit late on my job too. But I welcome everything that you guys want to do. And if you need answers, I can get them for you. So with that in mind, you know, I think we have to go on with the program so we can get something to eat. And the other side is, like I said, we eliminated administrative leave also too, because what we're trying to do is teach our people to work and accumulate hours. And that's what we need to do, because we can't survive any other way no more. We can't live on handouts. We have to work. And the ones coming up is the one I'm worried about, the young people. So if there's no more questions, I guess we can continue our program. Yes, we got one right here. Okay. Yeah, I welcome that. That's really nice. The other thing I forgot to mention too is that you can text council too for anything that you need or want to talk to them about. Yes, there's a mic right there.
Hello? I don't know how to explain this, but you're talking about people, for kids to work and get their full day's paycheck and all that. The tribal council before, I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I've heard that they've been getting money. They get like $1,000 a month for being at home. I don't know if that's true. And why aren't they working? I mean, they need to work too. Or are they getting free money sitting at home?
Okay, well, we'll get a councilman to answer that.
Okay. Well, that's a very good question. That's always been a comment, your salary, you're this, you're that. For the most part, let's look at this for the broader picture. Everybody typically who is just sitting here today is collecting $600 a month. Plus, because our elders also receive another 400 and something. So $1,000 a month for just being a member. Now, those are great. And I think we're all very lucky that, and appreciative, so let's just be fair, that the government has set up a plan like this. Now, some tribes, there are times where we show up at these meetings with other Native individuals and communities, and we are so above as far as amenities, those things we give each member here. We're so privileged because individuals, even our neighbors, receive very little. In this world, to be able to say, you know what, I can't feed my family today, regardless of those choices. I mean, if we're going to have kids, our responsibility is to take care of our children and our family and everything else. But to say, you know what, I've fallen on hard times, and be able to go and get those groceries, it's just not happening. Why am I explaining that? Does it sound like I'm skating over the issue? Not at all. When you do get to this particular position, and I think Shane made a very positive, this is a job. Yes, there have probably been other individuals who say, yeah, I'm a councilman, that name to me, and I mean this with the utmost respect to my colleagues, to all former individuals, councilman comes with a lot of responsibility, but it also sometimes is like, yeah, I'm just Leon. And hopefully Leon, at the end of the day, when he goes home, can sleep at night, can hold my head proud in this community. And I think that's what you kind of heard here with the individuals who spoke today. And I agree with your comment. There are times, though, that when we do have these community meetings and the president now setting an agenda to say, okay, here's how we're going to have the meetings and this information getting out there, there might be times where there is travel. And we have 2 members who are actually out on travel. So I just want to be fair to them that they're not missing this because they're doing whatever. They're actually on travel. So yeah, there's responsibility, not only as 4 years, but in all our jobs that we do, and all community members. You know, I still drive down the roads, and I'm not going to tell anybody how to spend their money from per capita or whatever they're getting, assistance. But the responsibility that I'm picking up trash, I'm choosing that. But why aren't they picking up trash? Why are we all not making and improving our community? I have asked people to date, because I've had people come to my office, well, you this, you get all this, and I go, well, okay, I try, I do my best, I work, I can show you what I've done, and I do. But I said, let me ask you a question. If this is about money, what is going to truly make you happy? What is going to make you go to the store and when you see somebody go, hey, hi, it's good to see you? Most communities do that. Sometimes we do that. I said, what is an amount? So I need to know that I can plan for, because we get 600. They thought about it. Well, it's not about money. Well, so with all due respect, you came to my office and you just said that I'm this, I'm that, the council's this, the council's that. You are telling me that you're almost starving, that you can't pay your bills. What is going to help you be happy? What is going to help you get those bills paid? And they said, well, I think $1,500 a month. I said, okay. So you're telling me $1,500 a month is going to make you happy for the rest of your life. Secondly, why, and I say again with respect, are you making that decision for everybody in here? So if I say, and I take that number, I'm going to say, you said, I'm taking that. I'm going to start looking at how to create certain structures to go for $1,500 a month. And that's going to make you happy. It's going to make you get up in the morning and be productive and make our community better. And they said, well, no, it's not about money. Well, let's look at this again from a very high level looking down. $40 million is what this government has to plan for. That's just $40 million that we distribute to everybody who is a member. Then another $40 million for salaries, for equipment, for benefits. That's almost $80 million that we have to plan, hopefully plan better. And I think that's what we're starting to move for. So when I hear that question, it is something that I think you do have a lot of individuals working hard, not just the government. I'm talking everybody out here. And not only those individuals who may or may not be able to find those jobs, but I really do think we have a community here who want the best. And I know that the other big thing is, well, per capita is going away, it'll be here. That benefit is something that is always going to be high priority. However it's going to happen, however the budget goes, those benefits are going to be of high priority. So rest assured that we will still continue to receive benefits. we will still continue to provide those services. And I think the president touched on, and maybe I just read into it too, but everybody who does that job, whether you're using a dozer to make a road, you're creating accounting, you're doing office, all those are for the benefit of this community. And at some point, when we figure it out, we should all come to work with, and want to be there. I mean, sometimes I know it's tough, but we all need to be and play a role. And this particular job is a temporary job if you look at it. It is only 4 years. There's no guarantee. But in 4 years, I think you finally have a crew here now that are hitting that ground running, that are going, okay, I got 4 years. How can we do things productively, responsibly, and strategically? Not only for this body, but as we heard, you currently now, our elders, our baby boomers, our Gen Xers, our millenniums, and those individuals coming up. We have a great community, and we should all be smiling. We should all be at the store. Hey, there's so-and-so. Hi, good to see you. And sometimes we don't. But I know at the end of the day, and it's a little, when there's a tragedy involved, that's when we all come together. And I think we can avoid that. I think we can do things when I'm seeing you now. So you do have people who are working hard. You really do. And they are earning that money, not just here, abroad. And we all are, we're all in this boat. And we've hit some turbulent waters because that's just life. That's new growth. That's just being a neighbor. I mean, sometimes we all get mad at our family, our spouses, our kids. But at the end of the day, I've seen people want to do the right thing, and you guys all have done the right thing, and I know we'll continue to do the right thing. And you should be vocal. I think everybody is up for constructive criticism if it's done respectfully. I mean, sitting here, yeah, I mean, at some point I'm going to be out there going, hey, how come? And I'll ask those questions. But again, I think with technology, it might be a little impersonal, but pick up the phone. Hey, I heard this. And again, to those individuals who have already done that, not only with me, but everybody up here, those are huge because you are hearing the message directly. And for me, I try and create a record. So here's what I said. So with that, we will continue to hear that this person's doing this, that person's doing that. But you got two choices. You can ask directly, and we can try and bring solutions. Okay, well, how do we fix it? How do we fix it? Or we can complain. And I know how that's gotten me in my life, complaining. But don't do anything. Got a couple of frown lines, but nothing some oil of Olay can take care of. But with that, solutions. Okay, what's the answer? Now we have something we can all build upon. So by mid-year next year, and maybe I'm speaking on everybody's behalf, but I think by mid-year next year, and as the agenda that the president and the vice president want to drive, if you hear anything different, and I've been very vocal about this in chambers with my colleagues, I'll stand right there and everybody can kick me in the behind if they don't see any progress. That's a bold statement too. This isn't about campaigning. This is about doing the right thing, and you finally have a group of individuals who are going to do that right thing. And it does mean putting your neck on the line. It does mean it does mean being chastised a little bit, because sometimes those hard decisions need to be made for the protection of the greater good. By mid-year, next year, you have my word, I'll be standing right here. And I won't use the excuse that I'm on travel too, so whatever that mid-year meeting is, I'll be here. But yeah, again, a bold statement. So let's work together. Let's all be happy, because we are, and we're not in as bad a shape as some might here. We're in fantastic shape. Now, we all need to do better, and that includes this body up here. We all need to be structured. We all need to take that accountability. We all need to be transparent. We all need to team build and empower. And I have yet to see, and again, maybe I'm speaking for my colleagues, but that bright light that shines over you when you get elected. It is hard work, and you do have to roll up your sleeves, and it is long hours. And I think the president yesterday in the meeting made a perfect comment. When you're up here, you can pretty much say goodbye to the family life, and then you just go right into a glass house. And as that should be, because that is a commitment that you made when you said, here's my money, here's where I want to be, and here's what I can do. And not a lot of people can do that, but I do applaud those who want to try and those who aspire to want to be here. It starts where you're sitting at today, in your job, in the home, and in this community. You are all beautiful. You are all beautiful, and you're all great. And with that, mid-year next year, I hope I wasn't too presumptuous, council and government, but I think we can actually show some big things. And I'll take an inch any day than shooting for a mile and trying to swing for that fence every time. It was a great analogy yesterday in a meeting that a lot of these games, baseball games, are won with hidden singles and doubles. I think we've swung for the fences as hard as we can. It's been exhausting, it's been expensive, and we don't have a lot to really kind of show for it that has been fundamentally growing. But I think we all, and I think we know, I know that we can do it. And that's a strong commitment. And maybe it's appropriate this week as we go into Thanksgiving to hear that, to be thankful, to be grateful, and to remember our neighbors, our family, our community. We're tight-knit, and we will always stand up for one another, and we'll always kick everybody in the behind when they need to be kicked in the behind. So keep up the good work, share the love, and smiling and laughter is free. So let's all do that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I have something to say. And it involves a lot of people. A lot of you know who I am. A lot of you know what actually happened to me and my family, which was the most embarrassing, degrading thing. I can't help it but say, I went to my councilman, I went to my president, I went to the vice president, and yet they sat there and looked at me. And I had to go through the whole shebango and find out just where I stand. I went to court. And the reason why was because that I am married to a non-Jicarilla. We have been married for 57 years. I lived on this reservation all my life. And yet we were mistreated because they said my husband was trespassing on the reservation. Trespassing, my dear, he lives with me. I had to get all kinds of permits in order for him to stay with me. I had to get a work permit, I had to get a crossing permit, I had to get all kinds of stuff in order for him to stay with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I look here and I see a lot of you that are married to non-Jicarillas, who are married to white people, who has children, and yet, I know some of you were harassed, but you went and paid the fine and said, well, we'll put it under the table. Well, thank goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know, I went to court and it was embarrassing and everything else. And everything was turned in my favor because they couldn't find anything wrong. So now, you fellows who are married to Jicarillas can not worry because that you're free to be on the reservation, not unless your wood permit or whatever they opinions and stuff like that, or hunting. That's the only clause in that book that says you have to be with your husband at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, it was embarrassing for me. And I felt real bad, but I want to share this with you because that it involves a lot of you that are married to non-Jicarillas. It involves your children. Your children could be out there and they could easily put them in jail for trespassing. But now, all they need to do is show that they are part Jicarillas. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the council because that I'm going to work with them in some way to get something in writing, in black and white, to protect us that are married to non-Jicarillas. Thank you and have a good Thanksgiving.
Shiji that's your down the sea. They are not just the Kai away water rights. They had a problem with it. We're supposed to be down at teepee and have all that stuff ready for the water to go through. But we were late in getting some of that water that we're supposed to get. And whatever happened to it? And now the Navajos are getting more water from us than we're supposed to be. And now the liters that we're gonna be selling, koi da inske and the jala da iko and low da koyo da kuyen sa and the nagek eye di a na mom a be koi and the a na hiha don't draw that. How are you going to fix it? The water. The Navajos are getting more water from our reservation, the Navajo River and Colorado River. And there's another thing too, that why were they dipping into the capital reserve, which is supposed to be like a saving for us people? And I don't know about that either, so I need explanation from you guys. And to you all people, you should know, you should go over there and talk to the people. The younger generation I'm talking to, you're gonna be facing trials in our prediction. You're gonna have to get some information from these leaders and other people. Go to the culture meeting. That's where you can get all the information of how our people gonna be facing, what you younger generation are gonna be facing. That I'm thinking about that. I get worried about you younger generation. You're just there. You don't say nothing. Go around and ask for help. What's gonna happen? We're coming to it. We're coming to it. So you know, And we had to learn our Apache language too. And that's another thing that's in our prophecy. The Jicarilla, the Apache, our way. We had to learn how to talk Apache. Apache. That's what we need. What are you? You're Apache, but you don't know how to speak Apache. So you're gonna have to start learning from your grandmas or whoever knows how to speak Apache. Thank you.
First of all, with Nina, we all have to abide by the law. And since I sat on the council, I've told them that too. There's a lot of laws out there that does not apply, and there's a lot of laws out there that should be within our code book, and it's not. And we're trying to address that too. In the past councils that I've sat on and have done this work with, it's like my friend Alex in Gordonia says, it's like kicking the can down the alleyways. The council comes in, they just kick the can down further. Maybe the next council will fix it. That council don't fix it, they kick the can further down. And it continues. And nobody wants to fix the laws. And that's where we're at too, on this particular deal. Nina came to my office and I told them there is a law written on there, and they didn't believe me. I took it off the wall. There's books on my wall there, showed it to them, and that's what it stated, exactly as you said. And I said, at this point, I can't say too much about it because that's a law. You have to go to court and take care of it there first. So now that she took care of the court, I told her after the fact, you can come to your council and have some of it changed if you want to, I said. But every time we change the law, it goes before all of you. If you agree with it, then we change it. Yes, a lot of you are married to the outside world, and there's going to be some conflict and controversy there from here on out. And for that reason, I'm trying to get my administration to whereas we understand the law, we have laws, we have policies, everything in place, so we follow it. And if we don't do that, we're not going to learn it, and we would always want our way. And that's what we're good at. But according to the white people, we can't have our way. That's why they stuck us on this reservation. We just can't have our way. We have to follow rules and regulations too. So for that reason, I'm saying that, there's nothing wrong with addressing everything that it might be wrong to you, but let's put it before the people. Let's put it before the council. I'm willing to do that. And I've done that. The money that Suki is talking about, that's a sacred cow. We don't dare touch that. Every administration that I've been on with the council and standing in front of you here too, I could go up there and get money to distribute to all of you. And we could spend all that money within a period of maybe a year or two. But that's not the way to be a leader. I've had people come to me and say, the youths up here, every old person is getting $6,000 a month. But did you hear the rest of the story? All the little kids who are at grandma's house, grandma pay for my rent, grandma pay for my car payment, grandma give me some money, I got no grocery. Grandma, I need this for my toothache. And it's not a good structure. So I just want to reassure all of you over here, we're all growing up together. We're all together, we got no choice. And money is not going to solve everything. We know that. And I've seen back in my time when I was a young person. Somebody gave us a quarter. That was really something. But it didn't matter how I was dressed. I was wearing government shoes, wearing coveralls, and I was the happiest person in the world. Now you go over here, somebody's really dressed up good, and he's still not happy. A young kid. And that's what I'm talking about. I try to adjust everything according to all of us together. It's not all about money. It's all about being safe for your family, so your family can eat, your family can survive. And that's where the base of everything here in this whole auditorium is based on, family. So as long as all of us are together, whether we're poor, rich, or whichever way, if we stick together in that fashion, that's the way we're going to make it. That's the way Jicarilla is going to survive. I just want to put that up front, so thank you. And as I was sitting there, I got a text saying, is the leave for the people that are in attendance, or is it for everybody? I told you it works, and I appreciate that. I would say that in all fairness, some of us are here and some of us can't make it too. So the leave is for everybody. And one last thing. The water, yes, okay. Wait. Okay. The water, none of it is getting away from us. And yes, we're selling water and we're making money. But like I said, it's not all about money. The water, I'm meeting with them also here pretty soon. And for your information, we got 2 lakes dry. Lahara Lake is dry, Dulce Lake is dry, and here's the problem that we might have. What if Navajo River gets contaminated? Where's our water? There's no backup. So I propose to the council too that we put 2 more water sources on both sides of the town. A well and another well that also feeds into our system. And we need to put money available for that too, so that we can have water. The other side too, there is money available to do some of the water to fill back up on the lakes over here at Dulce Lakes too. It can be done. And like I said, it's not all about money. It's about our land too. This land is ours. We're proud of it. We live here. We're not going nowhere. We live here. We stay here. Our kids grow up here. They want a lake over there too. And maybe we should put some water in there too. But that's what I'm talking about, is that it's not all about money. We need to put some stuff in our system to make it click too. And that's what we try to think and talk about too. So it's not all about giving all the water to the Navajos. That hasn't even started yet neither. And it has to be negotiated also. So that's what I tell the council, and I tell them verbally what I'm telling you right out here. So, to me, you're all my people. You all know me. I grew up here. I was born and raised here. I speak the language. I've been a part of every one of your lives somehow. So I'm not afraid to say what I say too. And I'm not afraid to do what I need to do for all of you too. I've argued with people up there. I've argued with Sally Jewell and put it on the table and told her, you need to do this for my people. I want them educated. I said a prayer for her too, to do it right. When we went to San Carlos, there's a gentleman, a holy man that came in, and he told the whole people the same thing. Apaches, before they do anything, they pray first. They get permission from the Creator first. Apaches. There's 9 tribes, and we're a part of that too. So I want you to understand that we're not losing anything, our culture or anything like that. We just need to get it up from where you guys are sitting at and get it going. Thank you.
I want to tell everybody the water is very important. This summer, the first part of August, the Newsack tribe invited us to go to the state of Washington. So that's where we went. They sent us money to travel, and they rented a car for us, me, my husband, and my daughter. And over there, they talked about water and how it's being contaminated, and the fish, they cannot harvest fish like they used to. The only time they do it is in the springtime when the snow is melting and the water is clean then. So they're important trees that is important to them. The maple trees are drying up, and they're worrying about it, and there were prayers being held here and there, and we went to one where we prayed with them and talk about our situation here too. So they told us to get some members together and pray too, like in an area where there's no noise and no lights, and do our prayers. That will help all the Indians. And then this last week, we were in Loveland, Nevada. There too, they talked about the same thing, water. And then the Navajo man said that water is the important thing in our lives. It's important for the grass that grows, it's important for the trees, and it's important to the animals, and it's important to all of us. We cannot do without water. So we cannot fool around with the water, especially our river right here. Our people that passed on used it. They say that over here at Chromo on the mountain, that's where they used to go to pray long time ago. So that river that river comes from there, and it's sacred. And our people still use it. Some of our people still use it to bathe the newborn. And when they bury their loved ones, they still use it. They go down there and pray to the river, and they wash themselves with it. And then over here in Alamosa, to the sand dunes, that's where they needed our help too. So that's where we went too. They paid for our motel room, and they gave us some money. And there too, the white man on a pipe, what little stream of water that was used to run that sand dunes. There's 1,000 head of buffaloes there, and a whole bunch of elk and antelope and bighorn sheep. And there too, they asked us to help pray. So that's what we did. We prayed for the water. And they're gonna be going to court in February, and hope they win in court so that they can keep the water for the animals, because they say that white men they're looking only at money. They don't care about the plants, animals, stuff like that. So that's what I want to share with all of you here. And thank you.
Okay, I think that's it for the questions. So again, another reminder that that we're going to have more drawings. I think about 4 more, I believe. And also, oh yes, capital outlay, again, I'm going to mention it again and again. We have some copies of the forms right here. So another reminder. So without further ado, maybe you can please stand up, and we're going to be having the benediction and the retiring of colors.
hiện sẽ chơi ta cố sẽ ta ta hadin khai de bedon sẽ ta sẽ ta lần ke sẽ ta sẽ là quân đi là ta sẽ là cho pa mi sẽ ta sẽ có để sĩ de ta đi nó vốn sẽ hado mai nên cái gì hado mai in gì hado cho pa mi ta đi thì để cho có bị chuyện này khác chơi ta cố sẽ sẽ ta sẽ bị chuyện ta kia đâu Isla da shi chego, isla ni na chego, ta ti zago, be da sin kaje stuye, ta ko unsi. Ta shi stune da hui ma ku ji jo. Da che skeri na tsui ke, ta du da yin tsali, ku ju da da de, da se na es kante, ta ko unsi stuye. Kwe da di ju da sin kliye ma he da nzi. Nke di kli za shun zo pa, a zo me da den ju kwe la yin kas tuye, ta ku unsi. Ha yi gu de shi shi, ha gu su ga shi shi, da se ne tere da gu te gu. Da tsis da di ni gu na bi ka na ha tliye su, ma a ya da n te gu, na yin kong tuye. Da che shi ke shi na tsui ke, da se bi ta yin do wa da nan se gu. Ha di bi tsa shi nan di te yin, ha di bi tsa shi es la yin, ha tse bi le ke es lo wa da nan su si tuye, ta ku unsi. Da li ha shi na li ma di, ta ya de be da yin, ta ya de be da yin, ti de jo, ku ju na han se de tuye, ta ku unsi. Ta ha ga shi shi, da se le tere da gu te de, ku ju na ha yin se de, hin in ju ne na yin ka de, il jun ju hin na da te gu, il la tsa da te gu, e da se yin ka de tuye, di de na ha da dan te gu de yin te ha to, ku ju na ki den ni ha to, da se na ha na is ka gu, ma ke dan ti shi ma la ta gu su, ta na hin na ke yan te, ta na hin na di di yan te, ai gu su ki den ni de tuye, ta yin ku su te gu, ta de yu chi na ni ha to, na ka na ka ya to, ta yin ku su, ai gu su ma ta gu sa gu ha to, na ke li han keskin hen kai de spi gu da yin te tuye, ku su ma mun su, ku stu ya yin ka gu, ta gu su gu ha to, mi ke in shi ma na ka gu, ya ke dan zi gu, da se ma gu te gu tuye, ta gu un si. Ha shi na bi ka ye, se ke li ra ta da u, ku na ne na ka da ku, ai gu ku su ki din e de, da se na ki din e de, da se ma yan ke de, ku su ma da gu sa de tuye, ta gu un si. Ta ha ga shi shi, ha gu de shi shi, ni ke di ki shin zo pa, le na yin ka de, na wu di mi. Ta ya da te na ha bi ka na ha le, tu me a ya da n te u me a na da su, me a hin na da te u, me a na za gu nyo na ha n se de tuye, ta gu un si. Kwe ye, ta di ju ye, ju na ha de n, ai ma ke da n si, ma la da gu su si. Ha shi da ku kwe ye, ka re be ke sta, ai gu da su, na wa gu nyo na ha n se de ha to, na che shi ke shi na tsu ke ba, ha to mi ta yin to, da si hin ka de tu ye, ta ku un si. Ki le s me su gu ju na gu de shi kwe ye, na ke bi ta gu su gu, da se bi da gu sa, ma su yu ju su ma n se de. Shi ye na gu ju su da yin te tu ye, na ta gu su gu, ju ta yin na da te gu, da se ki din ke su, Yena da didn't listen to Nkedi vision of what we the coins to ye, thus it would there she Kuzuna in Kate, a head, the coins in Kuzuku.
And start lining up. And some of the elders, if you can have a seat, we'll have some of the royalty feed you.